You're listening to musician, author, and educator Bobby Borg, breaking down music, business, and marketing basics so they stick.
Hey everybody, my name is Bobby Borg and welcome to USC's DIY podcast studio. And my topic for discussion today is social media awareness. I've got a great guest with me today. His name is Dr. Morten Bay. Dr. Morten Bay is a research fellow at the Center for the Digital Future, an adjunct professor at USC, and also a musician at heart as well. A lot of my students always are concerned with, I want more followers. How do you get more followers? And they are, concerned with, getting Instagram followers and even paying for services that help them get fake accounts. So with that said, how important is it to really have accounts where we're focusing primarily on the numbers? My Instagram account has 100,000 versus 10,000, but the 100,000 is rubbish and the 10,000 is quality. I mean, what is really perceived as better?
I mean, it depends on what your objective is, right? So if your objective is to be an influencer, as they call it, we used to call them hubs or yeah, there's been a ton of different names for it. The current one is influencers. You're basically trying to make money off of having a lot of followers, and you do that by engaging with advertisers. So that's a business model, right? Have a lot of followers, advertise. That's basically like any sort of media. It's just one person that becomes the advertising media outlet instead of a TV or Facebook as a platform, right? If that's what you want to do, yes, followers, just get as many followers as you can because that's what gets you value. Now, for many musicians, that's actually not necessarily the end goal. For bands, it's more about being able to spread a message. We're coming to this city and we're going to be playing, show up. Right. Our next album is coming out in December. We're building up the buzz as much as we can for that. So it's more about information and getting information out to people because the money is actually made elsewhere. So there's like two different ways of going about it. And I would argue that we're seeing a development right now where the move is actually moving away from the focus on followers and how many people you have on your account. You see that with Instagram, for example, who are now, just today I read that they've been testing, I think it was in Canada, a system where they actually hide or they make the follower number less visible on the personal profile. And they're going to be spreading that out to testing it in more countries. So apparently it's going well. And they've said that they don't want the Instagram follower number to be a competition. That's not what that goes against sort of the social cohesion of what they're trying to achieve. I would argue that if you're a band or a musician right now and you're trying to build an audience, you want to be more concerned with engagement with the people that you have, right. Which, I mean, with at least my experience and probably everybody else I've read about it, will organically grow your base, because if you have engagement and if you engage, there's a mechanism there where things grow organically. What people are really there for is to look behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. If you're in music, a lot of the time what you're presenting is an image. If you're a songwriter, you can do confessional songwriting, but many times it's actually not autobiographical. You're just expressing yourself through another person's story, maybe, right? Right. So it's always about this. There's always sort of a curtain there between the person and the musician. Right. And so, I think a lot of people that are on social media, they have two purposes for following musicians and bands. It's making sure that they know when things are happening, like it's a news service, and second, look behind the curtain. So that for a lot of people, that's a little uncomfortable because they also want to be able to have a private life. And so what I usually advise people to do is to create a social media account that's focused on the musician role, but still make it personal, just only to the things that pertain to music.
Right.
So you would still be like, you could still post something from your car being like, it's so annoying, the weather is terrible here in Seattle where I am right now, but I'm on my way to rehearsal, and so this is going to be great. That doesn't mean you have to show what you were doing that night with your family, right? So there's finding that balance is really important. But the most important part is to make the professional account, if you will, still appear personal, or at least give something away from your personal life.
The ways I talk about this to especially my students is I say, well, social media is about being social.
Mm-hmm.
And, I come from, I'm the age where I lived a life before the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and, there's just certain common courtesies,
Right.
I would never walk up to a table full of people with a bag over my head and say, you want to be my friend?
Right.
Yet how many people have social media accounts where they just have like the weird picture or the picture of their dog or something
Mm-hmm.
of that nature? And I would say, hey, my name is Bobby Borg. How are you? What's your name? And you'd respond back. You wouldn't have some like, well, mine is _666, the one or something. You'd use a real name,
Yeah.
And you probably wouldn't just walk up to me and go, yo, dropping tomorrow, check it out.
Right.
You say, hey, Bobby, I know you're a musician, I'm a musician, and so on and so forth. So really, would you agree that social media, a lot about building awareness and engagement, is also just about being social? It's in the word
Sure.
itself.
There's a trust is a huge issue on social media in general. And there are a lot of things we can learn from our normal social interaction with how we should behave on social media. What some people are trying to do is to get rich quick, if you will, or it's kind of a get rich quick scheme, which is not engage, not do the work of actually engaging with your audience, and still get a lot of followers. And the way they do that is by buying followers on different services, or spending a lot of money on advertising. And the problem is that you can get through advertising, you can definitely get some more followers. But the question is, but if you buy followers, what often ends up happening is that those are fickle and ephemeral, and they will disappear after a while. And as much as it looks great when you've grown your followers with by 50%, it looks equally bad if you lose 25% in one day. Right. So this idea of just focusing on the follower-ship of your social media account, if you're a musician, is not a good idea. It's better to focus on the engagement and really do everything you can to be daily. Engage daily with your fans, and be present, because people pick up on that, and then that will grow your fan base organically. Frequency is really important. It's I usually say to people that, and this goes back to the days of blogs and updates on websites. The more you update, the more people will follow you. Now, unless you don't want to do spam, just have long Twitter threads with one word in them. It has to have some kind of quality, but at least once or twice a day is definitely necessary, and for people to want to come back and check what you're doing. We're seeing a lot of people using the affordances of anonymity that social media offers you, or affords you, to troll, to be trolls, and to engage in trolling activity and just hurt other people. And that can be a problem for musicians when all of a sudden they have somebody who is either attacking the other fans or creating some kind of discord in the fan base, or there can be a lot of things there. And it can be difficult to handle. I usually say that the best way to handle a troll is to not handle the troll. Don't feed the trolls, as they say, because they have a tendency to go away if you ignore them. It could be hard though if you're being attacked personally by one
Sure.
to not react.
Right.
But I think the solution really is to change the culture. It is possible to change public perception of things, and I think one of the things we need to work towards is to understand that social media is a gift, you know, and we are mishandling that gift right now. We are you know, the platforms are mishandling it by giving away all our personal information. The trolls that are out there, the people that are using it to somehow alleviate some psychological problems they have, are making the environment worse for all of us. And so we need to figure out a way to sort of have a culture around it that where we ignore the trolls and just treat each other properly.
Right. Fascinating stuff. Thank you very, very much.
You're very
Excellent information. So I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. So my name is Bobby Borg, and what we're trying to do is break down music, business, and marketing basics so that they stick. Please make sure to check out the next segment, and that's it. Peace. Thanks very much. Take care. Hey everybody, if you like the videos that you just watched, please be sure to check out my books, Business Basics for Musicians and Music Marketing for the DIY Musician, available at Amazon.com, BobbyBorg.com, or any fine bookseller. Thanks again for watching, and peace.